In the city of Stockholm, Sweden, on the 8th of September in the year 1989, a child was born who would one day transform the soundscape of an entire generation. His name was Tim Bergling. The world would come to know him by another name, Avicii. Tim grew up in a creative household. His mother, Enki Leiden, was a well-known actress, and his father, Klaas Bergling, provided balance and stability. Yet from an early age, Tim's imagination was restless. While his friends spent their time outside, Tim was drawn to the glow of a computer screen, exploring the possibilities of sound. It was the early 2000s, a moment when digital tools were democratizing music creation. From his small bedroom in Sweden, Tim began producing tracks, uploading them online, and carving out a voice that was uniquely his. Inspired by electronic pioneers such as Daft Punk, but unwilling to merely copy, he pushed for something melodic, something emotional, something that could connect beyond the walls of nightclubs. By the year 2010, at only 21 years old, Tim achieved his first taste of international success with the track Seek Bromance Asterisk. Suddenly, the young Swede found his music traveling further than he ever imagined. Yet it was in the following year that everything would change. In 2011, Avicii released Levels Asterisk. This single track became more than a song, it was a cultural phenomenon. Its soaring melody and euphoric energy ignited festivals across the globe. For millions of young people, Levels Asterisk was not just electronic dance music. It was freedom. It was identity. It was a soundtrack to life itself. As his fame grew, so too did the demands. The world of electronic dance music was exploding, and Avicii was thrust to the center of it all. He collaborated with global superstars like Madonna and Coldplay, receiving Grammy nominations and performing at the largest stages in the world. But behind the curtain, Tim was struggling. The relentless schedule of touring and performing began to take a toll on his body and mind. In 2012, doctors diagnosed him with acute pancreatitis, a condition linked to heavy drinking. Still in his early 20s, Tim was already facing the serious consequences of a lifestyle imposed by an industry that demanded he keep moving, keep performing, keep producing. Yet, in the midst of these challenges, Avicii created some of his most iconic work. In 2013, he released Wake Me Up Asterisk, blending electronic beats with folk influences and featuring the vocals of Aloe Black. Initially, critics and even fans were skeptical of this unusual mix, but the song became one of the defining hits of the decade, topping charts across continents, and solidifying Avicii as not only a producer of hits, but as a visionary reshaping music itself. Still, the triumphs could not silence the storm inside him. Multiple surgeries followed in 2014. His health continued to deteriorate, yet the pressure of fame left little space for recovery. Tim spoke in interviews about his discomfort with the spotlight, admitting that the endless cycle of shows, travel, and expectations clashed with his quiet, introverted nature. Finally, in March of 2016, Avicii made a decision that shocked the music industry. He announced his retirement from touring. He was only 26 years old. For some, it was unthinkable that a superstar at the height of his career would step back. But for Tim, it was a matter of survival. He retreated into the studio, focusing once more on the joy of creation rather than the demands of performance. Yet even away from the stages, his inner battles did not vanish. The young man who had given so much to the world was still searching for peace, still fighting against the very fame that had defined him. Tim Bergling's story was one of brilliance and fragility. A meteoric rise that hid the weight of invisible struggles. By 28 years old, he had already achieved what most artists could only dream of. And yet, his journey was far from over, because in the spring of 2018, the world would be shaken by devastating news. By April of that year, Tim had seemingly seemingly found a fragile balance. After stepping away from relentless touring in 2016, he dedicated himself entirely to creating music in the studio. Those closest to him described this period as a time when Tim rediscovered joy in his art. He appeared calmer, healthier, and more focused. In March of 2018, Avicii released a documentary titled True Stories. It offered the public a rare glimpse behind the curtain. What fans saw was both inspiring and troubling. On one hand, there was the genius Tim tirelessly crafting melodies that touched the soul. On the other, there was the man exhausted, vulnerable, at times overwhelmed by the very career that had lifted him to global fame. It was in this context that Tim traveled to Muscat, the capital of Oman, in April of that year. He was 28 years old. Officially, it was a vacation, a break from the pressures of the industry, a chance to breathe and reflect. But on the 20th of April, devastating news spread across the globe. Avicii had died. The announcement was abrupt, shocking. Millions of fans, fellow artists, and media outlets were left in disbelief. The official statement from his family and representatives described him as found dead in Muscat. At first, no details were given. The silence fueled speculation. Rumors swirled across social media, news channels, and fan communities. Was it an accident? Was it illness? Or something more? Days later, the truth began to emerge. His family confirmed that Tim had taken his own life. Their statement read, in part, he could not go on any longer. He wanted to find peace. The words were devastating. The image of a young man who had brought so much light to the world, now gone, left millions with a profound sense of loss. Theories began to circulate. Some pointed to the relentless stress of fame, others to his struggles with health and anxiety. Fans dissected the lyrics of his songs, searching for hidden messages that might have hinted at his pain. Media outlets revisited past interviews, noticing now the fragility in his words, the quiet admissions that he felt trapped by the demands of the industry. In Sweden, the news hit especially hard. Memorials sprang up in Stockholm. Crowds gathered to sing his songs in public squares, transforming grief into communal tribute. Across the world, DJs paused their sets to play levels, wake me up, and hey brother, in his honor. The dance floors that once celebrated life with his music now became spaces of mourning. Some voices criticized the industry itself. They argued that the system surrounding global touring had pushed him beyond human limits, that the machine of fame had devoured one of its brightest talents. Others emphasized his sensitivity, his introverted nature, and the clash between his personality and the relentless expectations placed upon him. There are those who suggested that Avicii's passing might serve as a wake-up call for the music industry, forcing promoters, managers, and fans alike to reconsider the toll such a life exacts on its artists. His death sparked broader conversations about mental health, not only in music, but in the wider world. And yet, beyond the speculation and theories, what remained most powerful was the music itself. Songs that carried joy, hope, and light, even as their creators struggled in silence. Avicii's funeral was held in Stockholm in June of 2018. It was private, attended by family and close friends. Later that year, a public memorial concert gathered fans from around the globe. His collaborators, including Aloe Black, Rita Ora, and David Guetta, performed his songs one final time in his honor. The following year, in 2019, an album of unreleased music was released posthumously titled Tim Asterisk. The album was pieced together by those closest to him, honoring his vision and spirit. Its songs, raw and beautiful, felt like a final gift to the world, one last echo of the genius that had left too soon. Tim Bergling's story is one of brilliance and fragility, reminder of the immense beauty one person can create and the invisible his music continues to be played, sung, and celebrated across the world, ensuring that his legacy lives on in the hearts of millions. Avicii was not just a DJ, not just a producer. He was a young man who poured his soul into melodies that lifted people higher, even while he himself struggled to find peace. His life was a triumph, his death a tragedy, and his legacy timeless. So when we hear his songs today, whether it is the euphoric rise of asterisk levels asterisk or the heartfelt words of asterisk wake me up, asterisk we are reminded of a young man from Stockholm who changed the world with music, and whose silence still echoes. If this story touched you, remember to subscribe and stay with us as we continue to explore the lives, the triumphs, and the struggles of artists who have shaped our world. Share your thoughts in the comments, and let Tim's music remind us all of the importance of compassion, of balance, and of truly listening to one another. Because the story of Avicii is not only about music, it is about being human.